What's up guys, my name is ESO and welcome back to the channel. In today's video we're going to be covering 6 completely unique hidden powers you can find in the Elder Scrolls Skyrim, and these are 6 powers that I never seem to see anybody actually use, and I'm always surprised because you can literally get over 100% physical damage resistance using one of these powers and it doesn't cost you any magicka to do so. So let's get started. But first guys, a word from our sponsors, Raid Shadow Legends. It's a brand new collection RPG game with almost 10 million players downloading the game within just 3 months. And I can see why. Look at these graphics and the champion design themes, they look awesome. I love the Relic Keeper because he can actually attack each time he kills an enemy, so he just wipes out everything. But there are another 400 champions for you to collect and customize, ready for the epic storyline. But my favourite part about the game is the tactical boss fights. Or if you prefer PvP, you can compete with me in the latest tournaments. There really is something for everybody, so I'm not surprised it has an almost perfect score on the App Store with over 200,000 reviews. And it's free to play. A new update has just come out with a loyalty reward program for new players. So you get a new daily login reward for the first 90 days in the game. So what are you waiting for? Go to the video description, click on my special link and you will get 50,000 silver and a free epic champion as part of the new player program to start your journey in Raid. Now the first part of this guide is rather straightforward. So straightforward that you probably have already done it. Because to obtain these 5 powers we must start the Dragonborn DLC's main questline, which is also included in Skyrim Special Edition, where you'll travel to the island of Solheim. And if you don't know how to start this questline, check out my guide linked below. But early on in the Dragonborn DLC's main questline, you'll begin the quest Cleansing the Stones. During this quest, you will use the previously acquired Bend, Will, Shout to cleanse all of the All-Maker stones located around the island. Now using the Bend, Will, Shout on these stones will cleanse Mirak's corruption and hold over the stones. It will also summon forth a dreaded lurker. Now depending on the difficulty you play on, these can be quite troublesome to dispatch, with a 25% frost resistance and magic resistance, and also inflicting heavy attacks with lingering poison damage. I suggest just sending Lydia in to handle them all alone and hiding in a dark small corner where it can't find you. Once you have cleansed a stone, you can go ahead and touch it, and then the stone will transfer its unique power from the All-Maker that you can then use. There are a total of 6 All-Maker stones to cleanse and activate, each giving you a unique power in return. So now, let's go over each power in detail and how exactly you can take full advantage of them to get the most amount of damage and effect from them. And if you're new here, why not also go ahead and press that subscribe button and the bell icon, and then YouTube will let you know every time I have a new Skyrim guide out for you guys to watch. Or if you can't wait, there's a whole playlist with hundreds of videos linked down below in the description. But starting out here on the map, we have the Earth Stone. This is located near the town of Raven Rock, and you've pretty much probably seen it as soon as you arrive on the island of Solheim. Once you have cleansed the stone and touched it, you'll acquire the Bones of the Earth power. This makes the caster ignore 80% of all physical damage for 30 seconds. Now this is basically the same as the Dragonhide alteration spell, apart from it can actually be casted instantly and you don't need any alteration skill to cast it, and it doesn't take up any magicka, stamina or resources to cast, so it's just a win-win-win situation. However guys, we can make it even better, because if you do have the stability perk found in the alteration skill tree, it will actually last for 45 seconds instead of 30 seconds. Now 80% physical damage resistance is almost invincible, but hilariously, you can actually use this power in addition to alteration skills as well, to increase your physical damage resistance to 100%, making you nigh unkillable in most situations. Considering you can do this in mage armor, that's pretty damn cool. And for comparison, the only other way to get 80% physical damage resistance is by achieving an armor rating of 567, which of course requires you to invest in the heavy armor skill tree and also get good armor, which of course requires you to invest in armor perks. But you can only get 80% physical damage resistance from armor, and it's actually capped at 80%, so you can't get 100% physical resistance unless you use this one method in the game. Now we're going to go ahead and talk about the second power located here at the Sunstone. And if you haven't already liked the video and you like what you've seen so far or heard so far, please give it a like, because that really does help me out. Now the Sunstone is on the east side of the island, and once this stone has been cleansed and activated, you will unlock the Sunflare power. Sunflare creates a 100 point damage fiery explosion around the caster, doing even more damage the closer the targets, and once again doesn't cost anything to cast like all the other powers in the game, and it's instant as well. It's basically a damage nuke if you're surrounded by enemies, and it looks awesome. However, it is in fact the worst or the weakest power of all the powers I'm going to show you in this video. You can actually increase the damage Sunflare does by investing 2 points in the Augmented Flames perk, making it do an additional 50% damage for a total of 150 fire damage. If you also grab the Intense Flame perk as well, it will cause foes to flee from you that you set on fire, so it can be quite good to cast this in a difficult situation and watch as everyone just runs away in different directions. But of course, this only works if your character is a fire-based mage anyway, otherwise you're probably not really going to invest in this perk and you'll just sit there and accept the 100 points of damage you can get. Now, let's take a look at the third power. Located here you will find the Water Stone, the slipperiest of stones, on the far west of the map on the mountainous coast just here. Once you have cleansed this stone, you will unlock the unique power, the Waters of Life. This power, as you might have guessed if you're extremely observant, will heal everyone close to the caster for 200 points of health. That's a lot of health actually. That's pretty much maxes out your health on most character builds. If you also though have the regeneration perk, it will increase the healing done by another 50% for a total 300 health heal in an area of effect. Now this perk is most useful as a oh crap button if you ever find yourself about to die and need an instant heal, or you've just run out of potions or something. You'll probably never use it to save your followers unless of course it's Lydia, in which case I totally understand, my friend. And now we have the fourth power on our list, where it gets very exciting because located here on the map is the Beast Stone, southeast from Mirak's temple. And once you do arrive to cleanse the stone, you can then activate it and acquire one of my favourite powers, one of the most unique powers here in fact, which allows you to conjure a werebear. This will summon a werebear for 60 seconds, a minute of glorious hairy combat. However, if you also do have the conjuration perk found in the conjuration skill tree, who would have thought, it will actually last for 120 seconds instead, which is really nice, especially because you can summon 2 Atronachs and a werebear, because it doesn't add up to the total summoned creature amount, and you can literally have a party of beasts following you around. Amazing. But just like the werewolf, the werebear has a knockback effect that will send foes flying. Even if they're trying to block the attack, it doesn't matter, they're going to get knocked down. And when they're knocked down, it's pretty much like being paralyzed, so they can't attack back. And it's really fun just to watch people get flung off cliffs with overpowered attacks. Now the fifth, but not the final stone, is located here on the map at the Wind Stone. This is actually the first stone you'll probably activate during the quest line, so you probably have come across this stone before. Once cleansed though, and activated, you'll get a unique power called the North Wind Power. It sounds like the most epic of farts. Once casted though, it will create a icy northern wind that swirls around you, damaging everything in the area. Any targets close by will take 20 points of frost damage for 10 whole seconds. So in total, that's 200 damage. That's maths. 200 damage over the full duration of 10 seconds. This really is good for a tanky character who just wants to deal with groups of foes while blocking and playing defensively. You can, however, increase the damage further with the augmented frost perk found in the destruction skill tree. I'm just failing to pronounce words here. This will increase the spell power by a further 50%, so now it's doing 300 damage over its full duration. If you also have the deep freeze perk, you will also cause foes below 20% health to become paralyzed, which means everyone will just start laying on the ground, flopping around like a fish, a frozen fish. Now the only real drawback about this particular power is the frost damage. Most foes in Skyrim already have an innate resistance to the frost spells. If they're undead like the Draga or vampires or everything else, pretty much all the Nords that exist in Skyrim, they all have a 50% resistance to frost, which is really annoying. So pick and choose your battles when you actually use it and don't waste it because you can only use it once per day. And now we have the 6th and final stone. Many people forget about this stone because it's only accessible once you have defeated Miraak at the summit of Apocrypha, which is the final boss battle in the Dragonborn DLC. If you want a whole walkthrough of the Dragonborn DLC, I've done that too. It's linked down below if you want to check it out. Now you will find the final tree stone at Miraak's temple located here on the map. It's the first location you visit once you start the main quest line, so you should know where it is. But remember, you can't cleanse it until you've defeated Miraak. Once it is cleansed though, you can use the Bend Wheel Shout and you will unlock the Root of Power spell. Now this is one of the strongest powers in the game if you're playing a mage character, because it makes the spell cost of all of your spells cost 75% less magicka to cast. This is a huge flat reduction on the casting cost of high level spells especially, but to use it wisely. So, now we have covered all 6 unique standing stone powers. I just want to point out a few things with the powers. They're all free to cast and they will activate instantaneously. The only drawback is that they can only be used once per day. While you can get around this by simply waiting 24 hours between uses, you will however need to go back to the corresponding Allmaker stone and reactivate it to gain the power again each time you use it. This can be it is just really annoying, and it really limits what are otherwise really good and fun powers to use, and that's probably one of the reasons no one really uses these powers, because it forces you to constantly go back and reactivate the stone. So I actually recommend that you install the Allmaker Stone power mod, which basically removes the requirement to reactivate the stone after you use the power each time. So now you have the powers permanently and the only limit is casting them once per day. And again, you can just wait 24 hours after each cast. And you can get this mod for the original Skyrim and Skyrim Special Edition as well. I'm not going to leave a link to it, but if you go on the Nexus and search for it, it's very easy to find. And you guys can find a bunch of other useful Skyrim guides just like this one, other hidden powers, weapons, pretty much everything I've covered in Skyrim now. You can find the whole playlist for each category down below in the description, including character builds that actually use some of these powers as well if you're interested. But thanks for watching, and if you want to stay up to date with the channel's latest content, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and then press the bell icon, and then YouTube will let you know each time I release a new video. And if you want to go the extra mile to support me, please go ahead and check out Raid, linked down below in the description. And with that guys, I would like to thank you very much for watching, and I shall see you in the next video. Have a fantastic day and goodbye.